But Baxter, let's move into your boys. It's the Cowboys taking on the Dragons. Head-to-head, 20-17. Completion rates quite similar. Points scored quite similar. Points against quite similar. From all accounts, it looks like it's going to be a cracking game, but it depends on what Cowboys show up, because if the Cowboys side shows up to beat the Roosters last week, they win this game quite comfortably. If the side that went down to the Sharks show up, they're probably in a bit of an arm wrestle here with the Dragons. So talk to me about your squad.
Yeah, we've got Scotty Drinkhorn in the fullback role, Kyle Felt and Murray Talangai in the wing position, Valentine Holmes and Valentine's Pikadiku in the centre position, Chad Townsend, Tom Din in the halves, John McLean, Colin Hess in the forward role, Reece Roxton in the hooker role, Helam Lukey and Jack Gogorski in the centre second row position, with Ruben Coulter making the lock, Jake Granville, Mitch Stone, JTB, KF to round out the interchange bench, with Riley Price to be the 18 HIA jersey, Ben Hampton, Zach Leibert, Brendan Elliott and Marley Bitungay in the 22 jersey to round out the extended bench. Good win last week. I think any team, regardless of who's playing, to turn up against the Dragons are going to get an easy 2 points at this current time. Excuse me for a second. I think there's more problems at the Dragons than they're alluding to before we even get into them. I'm a big advocate that money-wise they're a bit tight at the Dragons, so they shouldn't sack Cook to bring in then to pay him out for the rest of the season. Then they bring in the caretaker for the rest of the season, and then pay whoever the new head coach is, if they have a head coach in time, moving forward. But I think you just need to let him know if he is or if he isn't going to be the head coach. Like, as I'm talking from the Dragons' point of view and the board here, if he's not the guy that he's going to go forward for you, just tell him, go, look, mate, you got till the end of the season. Thanks for help. Thanks for running the show, but you're not going to be the coach in 2024. I think all the weight off his shoulders will do him a world of good, and I think the Dragons could turn around and start winning some games. Really, I think they could push well and truly for that hunt for the 8. Not saying that they won't find a football, but they'll hunt for the 8. But the longer this sort of drags on, the longer it's going to get worse for him, because they told him he had to reapply. He still thinks he could be for a shot for another round of head coaching for the St. George Illawarra Dragons. So he's unsure whether he's going forward. If he's not the man that you see in the future going forward, beyond this season, just let him know. Tell him. You'll watch. As soon as you tell him, you'll see the weight just fall off his shoulders. He'll be more relaxed. He knows that going forward, I got no job. All the stress and all that. It's all over and done with. You're not talked about ever again. For that reason, moving forward. So, I sit here and say about the Dragons before we even talk about their lineup. Good to see. We played some wet weather football for the Cowboys. We looked well in the wet. Really, as you said, those 1%ers, we did well. We went up to it, and every time that it came down to those little itty gritty moments. I didn't agree with the hit. I didn't agree with the charge, should I say? Sorry, on JTB, on Maria Hargraves. I wouldn't call it a high tackle, because just looking at it,
hit him in the jaw.
You take his head away, and where did he hit him? He hit him here.
You can't base it off that. That is the most biased Cowboys call.
Okay, fine. Take JTB out of it. Take him in the Cowboys. Let's put Chad in, of course. Let's put
But you didn't want to go to that before. Did he hit him in the head?
Because he had his jaw down. Because he was leaning forward. If he was standing, if he had his head upright, you see that he gets him there. It's just because he put his. I don't think it's he got off. It's a first offence, guilty plea. does he pay a fine of $1,000, which I think is ridiculous because the NRL is getting out of
But
control.
you still haven't
with
answered
this.
my question.
No, I don't.
Did he hit him in the head?
No, not in the head. Nah, jaw.
He didn't hit him in the head.
Nah, because I've seen. Look, really? Okay, fine. If he hit him in the head, why didn't he go to the bin like the Warriors player did against Nathan Cleary?
Again, because it was a tackle. It wasn't off the ball.
No. You're saying that any hit to the head really should be going to the bin. No. If it's off the ball, if it's on the, if he's
you
in the
can't
tackle,
take out of context what I said. I said a swinging arm. He was making.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Warriors game. I'm not talking about swinging arm. I'm saying if any
it was a swinging arm. He went like that off the ball.
So I'm saying any high tackle that hits the head, that doesn't deserve a 10 in the bin. So then why isn't this player into the bin?
That's not what I said. I just said it then, and you're still going against it.
Regardless, I'm saying if any contact on the ball to the head is a 10 in the bin
because
that we have seen.
No, that's not the rule, though. That's not the rule.
Well, we have seen it in the last 9 rounds.
We saw that in Magic Round 2 years ago, that every single head contact went to the bin.
So then why is it this one?
Because they said back then it was a crackdown. They got it wrong. The NRL admitted to that.
Yeah, so I'm saying we've seen, apart from the hit drops, we've seen high tackles go to the bin in the 9 rounds.
He didn't mean to hit him high,
10 rounds.
High. Yes.
Yeah, hit him high. So by the laws of the game, he should have been in the bin.
No, that's not the laws of the game.
No,
malice is in bin, not just a head high tackle. Look up the rules back.
You're gonna try. Well, then how do you judge malice? How do you judge malice? Really?
Arm.
No. How do you judge it? Does he make contact? You just said, does he make contact with the head?
Was it a swinging arm? Was it a swinging arm?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so. It was in a tackle.
You didn't even watch the game, so it wasn't.
Yeah, it was. I watched this game.
He's coming in for a tackle, he's rapping.
Probably one of the games I actually really look for. I called it 10 in the bin first. When it first happened, I was like, nah, that's going to go in the 10 in the bin. And when he didn't, I was surprised. And when Jared reacted the way he did, I was like, this is definitely going to go be 10 in the bin. Because Jared, as I said, Blue Moon, he doesn't get up like that and react the way he did, especially into the referee's microphone. I was calling that for a 10 in the bin.
So you thought it was a sin bin, but you don't think he should have got charged? Come on.
Because he didn't get 10 in the bin, I was like, well, he'll get off here. He will get off here because there could be a fight.
But you thought
that's what I said. From first instance, I looked and went, he's going to get 10 in the bin.
But you thought it was correct?
I thought when the first tackle, I was like 10 in the bin. I was like, that's 10 in the bin straight away. When I saw that tackle, 10 in the bin.
And so why are we complaining about the charge?
Because he didn't get 10 in the bin. That's my thing. Well,
you don't judge a charge based off 10 in the bin.
I think it's a. Well, he didn't get 10 in the bin, so let's give him a charge. Because there could have been a fight for him not to hit him high. Does he make contact with the head? You can argue yes, but the way
argue. It's clear. There's no argument.
Nah. Because it can't.
Did he hit him in the jaw?
It's here. It is.
So he doesn't hit him anywhere above here.
No, it's here.
Do you want to put $1 million on it right now?
No, it is here, Tony. Come on, let's be honest.
Hold on.
You put his arm upon Jared's body. It is shoulder to shoulder. It is shoulder to shoulder. I don't know how your head has dropped 6 inches to be inside your chin, in between your shoulders.
Then no high tackle's ever a high tackle because they're always bending or twisting. No,
I just said, as I said, from first instance, I thought it was 10 in the bin. When there was no 10 in the bin.
But if you hit him here, how's it 10 in the bin? You're contradicting yourself.
He's hit him here. He's hit him here. Across the shoulders. Across the shoulders.
So why is it 10 in the bin? If you hit him across the shoulders? Because he hit him in the head.
Because I didn't say, as I said, I didn't see a replay. It was just the first one. I went, that's going to be 10 in the bin because it looked high. And I'll say this, it looked high. And went, that's going to be 10 in the bin. And the way Jared reacted before the replay came on the television, the way Jared reacted and the words coming out of Jared's mouth into the referee's microphone, I was like, no, that is going to be 10 in the bin. And then watching on the replay, I was like, no, he's off. He'll get off. Sorry, not he'll be off and 10 in the bin, but he'll get off this.
So if someone said to you tomorrow, if he hit him in the head, you lose $1 million. If you hear me out here.
No, he didn't hit him in the head.
Hear me out here. You had your chance. Let me have my chance. If he hit him in the head, you lose $1 million. If he didn't, I'll give you $1 million. Are you confident that there's no image of him hitting him in the head? I'm happy.
I'm not even putting money on it because he didn't. It's between the shoulders. As I said, I don't know how the head has located from the top of your shoulders into 6 inches lower. Tony, come on, let's move on.
But Baxter, no, we're not moving on just because you know you're wrong.
No, I'm not. Let's move on. No, I don't believe so.
Was there any contact to the head?
Viewing the replay,
no. Regardless of where his head was, whether it was at his feet, did he hit him in the head?
No.
All right, we will put a picture up. I will prove to you because right now you're getting defensive.
As I said, let's move on. Let's move on.
Don't just move on. You have your say. I'm allowed to have my say.
As I said, I'm moving on from this. So you can
because you know you're wrong. That's why you're moving on.
I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm saying let's move it on.
All right,
We're agreeing to disagree.
I'm going to throw it to you. You're going to talk about the next squad as well. I'm going to find the image of the photo put up on his head. And I'm going to put it up.
You can do that. As I said, I'm moving on from this. We're going to agree to disagree. We're going to move on. You're going to talk about the Raiders lineup, and we'll go from there.
Well, they're playing the Dragons, so you're already behind the gun on the 8 ball.
Whatever.
There, so.
I've got, as I said, whatever. You want to
Tyrell
talk about
Sloan, Matthew Fagay, Moses Sully, Max Fagay, Ravalaara, Talatai Amone, Ben Hunt, Jack DeBellin, Moses Mumbai, Blake Laurie, Billy Burns, Jaden Sewer, Jack Bird, Jaden Sullivan, Michael Molo, Ben Murdoch, Josh Kerr, Toby Couchman, Jaden Hunt, Jacob Little, Zane Masgrove, and Viliama Fafita. So a Dragons side that I believe they matched, I think it was a 96-year record where their last 5 losses they did cop were by combined, I think it was 13 points. So low margins. In an alternate universe, they win 5 of those games. They're sitting close to top of the table. So it's a Dragon side that have showed that they can stay in games, they can score points, they can defend, but they just can't finish off the job. So whether that's the coach, you've already made note of that. Who's going to be the coach next year? The reports that came out today is that it could be Jason Riles within the next couple of weeks. He could take over. They're going to get rid of him. It's going to be Jason Riles. So that's the accounts coming up right now. Due to Dragons, fans have a right to blow up. 100%. It's an inexperienced coach. They're not going to be happy with it. But I do think you need to make that call now. You do need to move the coach on. You do need to start building a squad because the report came out from the Red V podcast that both Jaden Sewer and Jack Bird at this stage both want out of the Dragons. Jaden Sewer is pushing to leave. He pushed to leave the club last season, and Jack Bird has already been trying to call around this year to try and get an early release. So you're starting to lose the players that you need in this squad moving forward. You need to make a change. You need to get rid of him if they're not going to follow that coach. But Baxter, talk to me here. The Dragons, they haven't been the most impressive. They haven't been the most disappointing side either, but they are sitting down the bottom of the ladder. They are sitting close to that last place. How do you see this game going?
I see it in one side of the fair, as I said, regardless of what Cowboys side runs out, whether it's the one against the Sharks or just one against the Cowboys, I think we still get the job done, regardless of me being a Cowboy fan. I think any of these teams probably put a Titans side or another Tigers game side up against them. I think they get the 2 points ahead. Say Anthony Griffin, not an experienced coach. He's coached 230 games. He was at the Broncos when they was in after Wayne Bennett. He had all those baby Broncos. He did well with them. Then he moved to Penrith. He got Penrith into a top 4 or a top 2 position at the time. He just beat top spot and then got the sack. So he's good, but he just hasn't been given the time to get the job, to see the job through, so to say. Like he hasn't been, like he was at Brizzy for 2011 to 2014. So that's 4 or 5 seasons. You know, I don't give him more time with those baby Broncos, which we are seeing now. I reckon he could have been doing an amazing job with them. Panthers, yeah, he was there when Cleary was just young, and all those blokes came through. So give him more time there, and I think he could have done what Ivan Cleary is doing now. Maybe a little bit less, a little bit more. Anybody's thoughts on that? But this St George Illawarra side, it's just a team that I wouldn't even touch a 10-foot pole, even if they were offering me $1 million a season to go coach them, if I did have my coaching license. But moving forward, I think, as you said, they just need to pull the trigger on an answer now on his future, whether it's going, yes, you're in the hunt, or no, you're not in the hunt. And as I said, you watch all the weight drop off his shoulders when he's told he's not the head coach. And I think as I said, this team will turn it around and be in the hunt for that go into the hunt for the eight spots for the finals football in September later on this year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see this Dragon side anywhere near the top 8, if I'm being completely honest. New coach, old coach, telling him he's not needed. I just don't think there's enough there to see him get past the line, because if you get rid of the current coach, Ben Hunt's not happy. If you keep him, half your forwards aren't happy. So you're not going to win either way. Last year, I think, 3 people turned up to the awards night. They're obviously not happy with the coach. They're not happy with how the season, how the team's looking. So I expect massive changes. I expect a massive hole-in of this squad. I think we see a very different Dragon side even in the next 5-6 weeks. So it'll be interesting to see. But in this game, I'm going to go to Cowboys. I'm going to go to Cowboys 1-12, and I think they get the job done, especially up at home.
I've gone the Cowboys 13+.
Well, there you go. Someone is going to get, I guess, a bonus point if the Cowboys do get up. If they don't, we're going to sit here with egg on our face. But